Hey guys, welcome back to Screen Syndicates. Today, we got an interesting podcast, a little more free flowing today. We're going to be breaking down to start Spider-Man Noir. All right, so it's going to be full spoiler details. The whole season dropped. We're going to talk about that too, but we're going to get into all of our thoughts and stuff on that. Then later in the podcast, me and Peyton are going to be breaking down our thoughts on Obsession and Backrooms. So we haven't really dove into horror here, so I'm intrigued on how that conversation goes. But today, joining us, we have our special guest, as always, Sam,
I
and
appreciate you
Peyton,
having me back.
our regular co-host. So I'll start with you, Peyton. How you doing today? How we feeling?
Doing great. Watched a lot of TV and movies in the past 2 days because I was very far behind. I haven't seen Backrooms or Obsession before today, or Spider
Mhm.
Noir. I was on episode 2 yesterday, so I've been grinding, binge watching these shows. Excited to pick your guys' brains about it.
Nice. Yeah, I got a text from Peyton yesterday. We were talking about what we're going to talk about in the pod. He's like, I'm on episode like 2 or 3 of Spider-Man. Then I get a text this morning, finished it. So I was like, okay. Sam, how we doing today? How we feeling?
I feel great today. Same as Pete. I finished up Spider-Man Noir Sunday, finished up Ashoka, and then I know we're not talking about it today, but I also finished Scream 7 on Sunday.
Oh,
So
Oh.
nice,
that was
nice.
quite the combination I had going.
Real quick, that Scream movie, that the most recent one that came out?
Yeah.
Mhm.
God, that movie sucked. That movie
No,
sucked.
it was dreadful. The twist doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's very hard to follow logically.
And I'm a Scream fan. But either way, so today we're breaking down Spider-Man Noir. So, Pate, I want to start with you. I want a rating out of 10 and just some overall quick thoughts.
Yes, sir. I'm sitting at a 9. I really like the
Wow.
I really like the show because I was going into it, didn't watch a single trailer. The only thing I knew about Spider Noir was what we saw in Spider Verse. So I was thinking it was going to be an animated show. That's how like clueless I was going into it. And then when I pulled it up and started watching it, it like just completely caught me by surprise. And I really loved how they did it. I love the setting. And it's just like stuff that I guess we haven't really seen with Spider-Man, especially with him being a lot older in this show. I really liked it.
Mm. Sam, what you think? Rating
So
out of
I'm
10.
I'm gonna be much lower than Pate actually. I think I'm gonna be 7 out of 10. I did
Mm.
very much enjoy the series. I did like the new take on Spider-Man that we did get, but I was kind of let down by the ending and the build up to it just felt like I was gonna get so much more than what we did.
That's a fair take. So I'm honestly right in the middle of you. I'm at an 8 out of 10. There was some things I really liked, and it really the biggest thing that you said, Pete, I agree. Caught me by surprise. I didn't have any expectations going in, and for me, the best part of the show was Nick Cage. I think he absolutely crushed it. And like. I love him as an actor. He's just weird and quirky, and I think this role
Yeah.
was perfect for him. So I was super locked into that. And I guess my biggest criticism, I'll get into this maybe. There's one character I absolutely hated, and then I felt the ending was a little underwhelming as well. So I'm with you there, Sam. But heated debate topic online. So you got some film nerds saying
Uh-huh.
this black and white versus color discussion, and they're going back and forth, going back and forth. So Sam, I guess I'll start with you. What did you watch the show in, and why?
Ye so of course I watched it in black and white. It's called Spider-Man Noir. It's not, I don't know how else you were gonna pick to watch that in color. When I saw the option pop up, actually, I got really excited. I felt like it fit the time frame or the time the movie went on or the show much better than if it was in color. I felt it was more true to the period.
Hmm. Pay what you watching in?
So I started in color just because black and white normally turns me off or like puts me to sleep. For some reason, I just can't stand it normally. But I started following what you sent me, where watching episode 1 and 2 in black and white, and I think episode 3 as well, and then switching to color, and then back to black and white, and then color for the end. I followed it that way, and I actually really enjoy the black and white way more than I thought. It, like Sam said, I think it's so fitting for the show in that time period. It was like crazy to watch something modern in black and white, and I think they crushed it with that.
I agree with you there, Pete. So I started in color, and episode 1, and then episode 2 I watched in black and white. And the thing I was shocked about most is it was a completely different vibe. It was the same show, but
Yeah.
like it was a different vibe, and the characters were talking. It just felt more old school, more of that classic. But I ended up following that tweet and just going through. And in the end, I think I did prefer color.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you what I guess do you think I missed anything by not watching it in color, or do you think like I got because for me, like again, I like the twist on Spider-Man where every time we've seen him, it's been, post 2000 or like, more modern. So to get him back then, I felt like it was just really cool. Even like the visuals of him swinging through the black and white, like I thought that looked really cool. I don't know how it looked obviously in color, but
That's interesting. See, like with the color aspect, I felt they did a great job where the city was super vibrant. Like
mhm,
Yes.
it was weird where you had black and white, and it wasn't just like regular color. It was super vibrant, like over the top colors, and it really made it pop. So that's why I really liked seeing it in color. But the black and white like fit the vibe. And specific scenes that I felt the black and white worked with were when Nick Cage was talking to Kat, like that old school romance love. Like
Yeah.
I felt it like was such a 1920s little vibe, and I really like that aspect.
when she's fallen from the window is the first time I can think of it. Like, oh, are you who I think you are? And then she just
Mhm.
drops back as if he's not going to save her. And then I felt like that was really cool in slow motion as she's getting pulled back up.
Mhm. No, I
True.
thought that was great. So Pate, you followed the guide, right? So you watched the flashback episode in black and white as well.
Yes.
And I felt it really did fit it where like
100%.
it was like that dreary tone. And I don't know, I know some people watch the show in both. I did one episode 2 I was switching back and forth trying to figure out what I liked more.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know, I think it's one of the coolest things I've seen in TV where you could watch it in either.
I was just about to say that because it almost feels like two different shows essentially. Like the vibe feels completely different from one to the other. So
Mhm.
like it would even be cool to go back and through it and watch it in straight black and white and then maybe even do one straight color and just see kind of what ones you like better because it really does feel like a different show. Episode 6 was it where his origin story?
Yep.
That one it hit like crazy in black and white. Like it just was so fitting. I couldn't believe it. Like how they I don't even know how they got it to feel so like authentic to that time.
100%. Sam, the electric guy, what color did you picture his electricity as?
I mean, I thought it would be blue. Was it not blue?
It was yellow.
Oh, of course. In my head, it was blue the entire time. The only other time I felt like I missed out as well, there's a time he gets his shirt stained or something, and he says, like, oh, this is olive green. And obviously it's in black and white, so I can't tell what color it is. But that was the only time I was like, oh, I'm kind of missing out on this. But in my head, the obviously the electric had to be blue because the one thing I really loved about it is the villains they used. I believe it was the same as the Andrew Garfield Spider-Mans.
So
Um,
I dove into it. It wasn't so there's the three main, right? You
yeah,
got standard Sandman.
Hmm.
He's standard. The electric guy is not Electro technically.
Yeah, it was
He's another
Megawatt,
one.
of
Megawatt, yeah.
course.
And then the other one, who did you interpret that as?
I thought it was like a crocodile lizard. I can't think of who it would have been, but
at first I was thinking Rhino
So did I.
because of the skin and like him being a bigger, like more brute type person. And then I looked it up too. I think it was supposed to be more the Scorpion, I guess.
No, it was Tombstone is
Really?
the Spider-Man villain. So I'm
I
not
don't even
super
know who that
familiar with
is.
him.
Me
He was
either.
in the he was in the games a little bit, but that's who that was Tombstone. So,
I
but
didn't know
I
that.
when I was first watching it, Sam, I thought the same thing. I thought they were going to set up like a Sinister Six of those Andrew Garfield type villains.
Right, because they kept showing the photo of like, oh, all these people were in the camp, so all of them must have superpowers. And I kept waiting for more and more to, I guess, pop up and join his
Mhm.
mob. But then it only ended up being those three. And I thought the other scene that was really cool that showed like the powers is when they're in the lab and she still has them in the tanks where it's like the ones who morphed more. I thought that was like a really cool, like origin scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I thought so too. I think they left the door open for more Spider-Man villains with it.
Mhm.
'Cause it was the one guy, there was a scorpion in his testing thing. So
Mhm.
obviously Scorpion's a Spider-Man villain. So I'm curious they could set that door up for more opportunity.
One
Yeah,
thing that I
because
was gonna mention, I'm sorry to cut you off, Sam. One thing I was gonna
no, you're good.
mention before with what I think you missed out on in color is the super villains like powers and stuff like that. It's very hard to tell what's kind of going on or what their face looks like
Mhm.
without the color there. And even the alcove when Cat was singing and dancing, that looked so visually pleasing, like with the high saturation and vibrant colors. It looks so good.
Because I
See, I
was
thought
gonna
that was cooler in black and white because it gave like that old time feel to a like an old opera club that we could never
Hmm.
experience today.
That's true.
That is true. I was gonna ask you, Pate, like since you bounce back and forth, do you think the villains look better in black and white or in color?
In color, 100%.
Because I completely agree with that. I think they did look better in color.
Especially Megawatt.
Yeah.
The only guy I was kind of disappointed with that had the mutation was the guy who got stuck aging fast.
Mm.
I don't really know what like I understand that like the thing was the mom was gonna try to heal him, and you know I appreciate that, but he just seems very useless as like a mutation. I don't understand why they would try to do that to make soldiers stronger.
Was
Yeah. I guess, yeah. What were they testing on that made him old? I took that as like a failure on their end.
Yep.
Like they
mhm.
so but I found that little twist interesting. Did you
Was
see it coming?
No, to be honest. No, not at all.
Yeah. It took me literally till right before she like it was revealed that I was like, oh, I got it, but it kind of was already established.
Was he mixed with a dog?
I
Cause,
don't know.
cause didn't he say something about like he's aging like a dog? Cause dogs technically are like every 1 year is technically like 7 years in dog years or whatever. Cause he said something like that, and that's why he was at 36. He looked 60 or 70 or whatever.
Right,
Yeah,
he was on the edge. He
maybe.
was ready to go.
Yeah.
the the coolest part about all that, which they showed again later, so I saw it in color, but I originally watched in black and white, was his whole origin story. I really liked that monster thing biting him. That thing looked sick. And Sam,
Yeah.
am I wrong? Do you have a spider phobia or no?
Oh, it's horrible. I actually texted Pate. I was like, my
Yeah.
biggest complaint about this show is the amount of spiders in it. Because he's having a dream and he's like he's freaking out. And when they cut open his skin when like he's going under and all the spiders come
Yeah.
out, I'm like, yeah, I gotta look away here.
Yeah, I thought so, and I was like, because there was a lot of spider action in it. I was like, this is
100%.
this ain't gonna be good.
Because yeah, no, the spiders were terrible. And Pate, to go back to what we were talking about earlier, like with Spider-Man, I just rewatched every Spider-Man movie in early or in order, probably in the last
Damn.
month. So when this came, I didn't know this was coming out, but when I did see it, like there's no spiders in any of like the new Tom Holland ones. There's very minimal ones in
No.
Andrew Garfield. And then Tobey Maguire, I feel like it's just the beginning when he gets bitten. And then this one is just loaded at all times with spiders. You don't know when one's going to jump out. You get it. You get obviously the origin when he bites them and they're in the tank and they're coming out of him. The other thing I thought was really cool though of the origin scene was they had like the animals in the jar and they had like the blood sucking into them. I
Hmm.
thought that was really cool to see like the testing that was being done.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, because it's just like such a different way and very fitting for that time. And the Germans were always trying to do crazy stuff and make super soldiers. I even think that was like real in history that they tried to do
Yeah,
like crazy experiments like that and create super soldiers. So it was cool to see.
What'd you think
yeah,
about anytime he was kind of hurt? He would go into like he would put his arms up and like
Yeah.
put his feet up. He's like, I had to
yeah.
relearn how to be a person. But to see him do it time and time again just made me.
Yeah.
That's where I thought Nicolas Cage killed it. Like just like his little twitches and stuff.
Yeah.
Like he was just so good at that. He embodied the role.
And when he put on like the different personas where he would go in like a disguise where he was the plumber the one time and I forget or he was acting crazy like
Yeah.
the second floor, huh? I
He's like
thought that
rubbing
was
his hands through his head. Yeah, no,
like
that was great.
he's a great actor for that. And then I was just curious, what's your guys' favorite episode that out of the whole season, if you have
Ooh, that's a
one?
good question.
I think it might be the second one. Because the first episode for me was a little slow, but the
Mhm.
second where he's like, I am going to go back and be the spider again. I really like that episode.
That was a good
That was
episode.
that was good. I think mine might be one of two. Episode 6 with the flashback, I thought was really good. And then the one episode where he was doing the detective work with all the cops, I really liked, where he was like interviewing all of them
Yeah,
and like he was putting on the personas. I thought that one was really good. But it's hard when you binge it. Like it
they kind
doesn't,
of,
individual episodes don't stand out.
for sure, they all kind of blend together. Mine, I think, was 7, where
Hmm.
he was in the bar and like drinking
You know
and
what?
down. I
That's
love
a good
that
one.
episode, especially
That
seeing like Spider-Man be like almost essentially an alcoholic and drinking
yeah.
all the time and using his powers when he shouldn't have, and he's just like got emotional as like a normal human being, and then just
Mhm.
walked outside super drunk and put on his mask and just beat them all up. I love that.
That might
One
be
of the
my
th-
favorite scene in the show. You're right.
Me
one
too.
of the things I hate about, I guess it might be a newer thing, is the lack of care of him like hiding his identity. Like even in the last scene where he goes to save her, like he waits till the end and then he just starts shooting the web with no mask. And even like that scene, right? Like those bar guys obviously knew who he was, and he
Mm.
just doesn't have a care in the world to keep his identity hidden. The other scene too, when the two guys break into his house originally and he has like the spider, he's ready to go. He's like, no, it's Tai Chi. Like that's
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything here.
Then he
That is
knocks him
great.
out later that episode, and he's like, Tai Chi, huh?
Yeah, like he doesn't care if you know who he is.
I guess the only pushback, like benefit to that being is like since it's the 1920s, no cameras, nothing like that. So
No.
like in a big city, he could just disappear.
That's exactly what I was about to say, because I thought that same thing, Sam, about his identity and him kind of being like lackluster with it. And a lot of people could probably figure it out pretty easy that it's him.
Right.
But word, like, there's no social media. People, you got to use payphones, or maybe you have a phone in your home, but word's not spreading like that.
The word isn't, but he only went in his depression because he got his girlfriend killed,
Mhm.
which they only knew that, like, that was obviously his girlfriend because they knew who he was. So you would just think he would be more careful to protect, like, his secretary. I don't know. Like, that, to me, it was just a flaw that they had there.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from for sure, because I thought the same thing.
That is a good point. Give me 1 sec.
Oh, you're good.
You're good. Hey, did you like that? You didn't get really like I mean, you did end up getting the backstory on like his girlfriend who died, but did you
Uh-huh.
like that it kind of remained a mystery for so long?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going to bring up. I like that they jumped like right into kind of, it feels like we got dropped off in the middle of Spider-Noir's story, not in the
Mhm.
beginning, not in the end, but like right in the middle where he already was Spider-Noir for we don't know how long, but for quite a bit of time. And then to feel him battling with like the death of his wife Ruby and then not wanting to be a superhero anymore. I thought that was cool how they did it.
I agree with that because we've seen enough origin stories, especially with Spider-Man.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like I love that it got established and then they gave us enough of his background to understand, but we didn't see like the whole coming of age, him becoming the spider, which I liked because I just like that to your point, we were right in the story and they did a great job where you really kind of understood everything right away.
100%. And what did you guys think about like the gangster tone? Like I personally loved it. I don't know the actor's name, but Silvermane, that
Mhm.
dude, I loved his performance. Like every time he was on screen, I loved how he talked, how he treated people. Almost reminded me of
Yeah,
like kind of Kingpin from
a little bit.
Daredevil.
Brendan Gleeson is his name. Great actor. I love him in a couple things, but he did kill it in like in the aspect too of he had no superpowers, but he was still a very intimidating threat.
the no superpower thing, and he reminded me of the Penguin. So it gave me like
Mm,
a Batman feel to the entire show, where it's like the Penguin's. I mean, Batman, I guess, is more realistic, but he's controlling people who obviously have way more power than him, which obviously flips on him at the end when Electro's like, "Why am I listening to you?"
Hmm.
Which I did also like that the villains became logical
mhm.
and could actually think for themselves.
So that was my favorite part of the show was two things that we were just kind of talking about. My favorite part was that it had an adult tone. Like it was mature. You could tell this wasn't made for kids. Like kids could enjoy it still, but it was very mature. And then two, I felt the show was very smart. Like
Mhm.
every aspect of the show felt very realistic in certain aspects, and like their conversations felt like real conversations. There was a scene in like the office with the reporter and his secretary. They were like busting balls, and it felt like so real. And they called each other out on like their bullshit. And I really liked how the whole tone of the show, that was honestly my favorite part.
Absolutely, because that was one thing that I even wrote down was like watching the show and feeling like you're in New York City in the 1930s. I love that it showed like everybody was very street smart. Like they knew what was
Mhm.
going on, and like the way that they talked, they knew how to talk to this person to get what they want. And I thought they did a great job, and adults can enjoy it. And like you said, kids can still hop in there because it's Spider-Man and watch it and have a good time.
Well,
Mhm.
it's actually the spider. They never said
True.
Spider-Man,
Yeah, you're right.
the entire time.
You're right.
Yeah,
They didn't
so
say that, and they didn't say Peter Parker. They just kept referring to, oh, he had a previous
His
name,
name.
but then they wouldn't go on about that.
yeah, so I didn't know about that. I guess it's because it's a rights issue.
Yep.
Yeah, the
And
licensing, I
so,
think.
yeah, they couldn't like officially do it, so they worked a way around it. I would have loved to hear like Peter Parker or even Spider-Man, but I thought they worked around it the best they could.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think it took away from anything either.
No,
Oh, and I think this is probably the best Sony project that they've done with Spider-Man or the Spider-Man universe in a long time, besides like the Spider-Verse movies.
hmm,
Like an actual live action movie, they've kind of shit the bed the past couple movies.
100%. And some of the action, like those were some of the best Spider-Man action scenes I've seen. Like it was very, I we just love Spider-Man. So seeing another version of him in live action, I think is pretty sick to see.
And
One
did
of my favorite ones was at the end with when he's fighting, what'd you say it was Rhino he was supposed to be?
no,
Tombstone.
Tombstone, where he's handing out the bottles for the election and the mayor, and he like that whole scene where he's fighting him and he goes to jab him with the needle and it bends right on him, like
Hmm.
that whole scene like of him fighting, I thought was really well done.
and that's a great point because I had that written down too. I love that it actually bent and just like shows his skin
Yeah,
and that they played into it because it made me think of Anthony the Homelander thing where
hundred
he
percent.
lasered his arm to actually inject the needle because he's bulletproof. So obviously a needle's not going through him. I thought that was a cool little minor detail.
Because
the
that's
needle,
where
of
it
course.
shows how smart the show is.
Hmm.
Because like a lot of dumb shows would have broken the logic. Yeah, this guy was eating bullets, but then they could stab him with a needle. So I did like that.
They could stab him in the eye though. That does work.
Yeah,
Yeah, that does work.
and that was just
I
another smart thing to do too.
100%. So I have a couple more positives, but I want to get into the one negative.
Hmm.
The one thing I absolutely hated was, what is the electric character's name?
Megawatt.
Megawatt. Megawatt was just too over the top for me. Like he just felt like a cartoon character. The way he's just like reciting these poems and the way he's talking, every time like he just took me out of it a little bit. Where the other two villains, all the other villains felt realistic. Where this guy is just like yabbering and flapping on, and I'm like, okay, okay. And he was the most powerful one. Like he actually was
Yeah.
giving the fighter damage, but I don't know. I just didn't like his character. What do you guys feel about that?
So at first, like I liked it when he was getting interrogated. I thought he was super funny. I really liked how he was talking and doing everything. It was very fitting. And then like towards episode 7 and 8, I was feeling the same way. It's like over the top. It's almost like taken away from the show.
Hmm.
I'm right with you there. At first it was really good, and you saw the other two guys too, like when they got healed, they became like good people again. And obviously Electra was, or Megawatt, whatever. He was the only one not to get healed. He gets hit by the train and explodes. Like we all know he's not dead there.
I was
But
just about to ask.
when
Yeah.
he comes back, he's just going to be way more. But that's another issue I have. Like they killed Silvermane. He cured the two other villains. Like is it just going to be Electro that they set up for season 2? I don't know if there is going to be a season 2, but it feels like they're just writing a box again.
So they initially, I guess, made it with there's not an intention for season 2, but I think the show is
Okay,
going to be
good.
popular enough where it gets something else. And then I think they left the door open a little bit with more potential people from that camp, or they could just bring in new villains, which would be interesting. Because I was looking into it. I guess Norman Osborn's a villain of Spider-Man Noir in like the comics, so like you could do
Oh,
something
that's
with
cool.
that. So they could do. You could just introduce a whole nother new villain for a new season, which would be intriguing.
I can't imagine they could use any of the Tom Holland villains. That I don't feel like that makes any sense.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Definitely not a Mysterio.
Right, like he's not coming in
Yeah.
with the drones.
Yeah.
No, but they could do like an old school Mysterio. I'm again. I actually hope there's a season 2, but I
Me
think
too.
they ended in a spot where it literally could be anything.
Yeah, because what'd you think about that? I don't remember her name. Is it Kat, the
Yeah.
singer's name? That
Mhm.
she's the one that takes down Silvermane. Like you get the big chase scene, and then she's finally like, "I'm ready to kill you," and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm happy it's going to be you." Where she like was just controlled her whole life by him.
I was okay with it. It was satisfying enough because you could tell the Spider and Silvermane, like they had a rivalry, but it wasn't like hatred because
Mhm.
the Spider could have taken him out multiple times. I
Yeah.
also love that the Spider in this universe is not afraid to kill. Like he is very like he said like I'll kill you, and that's a promise. Like I
Yeah.
did like that aspect because we don't get that normally with Spider-Man, but I was okay with her being the one to do it.
Me too. I kind of liked it. I think it was like a good payoff for her character because especially throughout that season, you hear her complain about her life's getting controlled, even though she has the nicest things, works at the best club, is the top singer, but she still hated it because of the control and fear she had from Silvermane. And
Mhm.
one of my favorite, I think, two characters talking was Silvermane and Spider Noir. Like when they
Mm.
had their dialogue, just sitting together talking and drinking. Like I love their back and forths of like the mind games that um, Spider Noir was playing with Silvermane, and just like the two intellects talking and trying to see if the other one's bullshitting. Like I love that scene.
Yeah. I to that point, like in a dumb show in that final episode, they wouldn't have put together that he was the spider. And I really like I was like, wow, I love how they had the balls where Silvermane like put the pieces together and realized that he was the spider in that moment. And like he put him off the scent with the guy coming in, but I really love that aspect where Silvermane you could tell was a smart guy. And I to your
Mhm.
point, the whole series I loved their back and forths.
Yeah, it was just super fitting.
There's one thing that there is upset about, and then I'll get into a different thing. So I'm curious on your guys' thoughts there. The Daily Bugle. I love that they've used like the same guy for the Daily Bugle the entire
Yeah.
time. There's even the clip of him. I think it's game where that just recently came out where Spider-Man's behind him and he's all upset about it. I was upset he wasn't in there. But what'd you think about the reporter, like him adding the element to I guess the show?
It was for me at least. So a big strength of the show that I found was all the side characters I found intriguing. Like
Mhm.
at first I didn't think I was gonna like the secretary, but I ended up loving her. I really
Hmm.
like loved all her, and then I loved his little crew of her and the reporter, and in the aspect of that they knew who Spider-Man was or Spider Noir was, and I love the scene where she talked about that he already told her when he was hammered.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
Yeah, that was great. But I liked because you get the aspect in normal Spider-Man that he's the reporter and he's always reporting on himself. So I like that it was someone else and he like it made sense where he always would hook him up with the stories.
Yeah, because that's something I was gonna say that I loved about the show. It uses all the Spider-Man things that we're familiar with already, but takes different twists on every single one of them. and I loved how they did it with like the reporter guy being in there, and it's not actually him reporting.
Mm.
Spider-Man reporting on himself, and we still have the Daily Bugle. We still have Sandman and all these different characters that we're familiar with, but they took such different twist on him, and I think they crushed it with that.
Mm. What'd you think of him, Sam?
I really liked him. I like the element that they did, like as you guys said, like it wasn't Peter Parker who was taking pictures of Spider-Man. I did like the redemption story you get with him as well, where he got kicked out because he wasn't having any more pictures of the spider. And it kind of
Mm.
showed how much like Nick Cage really boosted everybody up around him, even with the secretary being like, I think I gotta leave because you won't come back to who you are.
Mm.
Yeah, that
That
was great.
that was true, and I really loved the whole Prohibition era and everybody being poor post Great Depression. Like I thought they really played that into the story really well, and
Mhm.
it's just funny hearing them talk about money and the denominations and how like they're so broke, but it is nice.
One thing that the episode that I also really like would probably be my second favorite was where Spider-Noir was like putting together how he could spin it on to Winston, I think was his
Hmm.
name, the other gangster's right-hand man. Like I love that cliffhanger at the end where he's like dig a second grave and then he shoots, you don't know who he shot. And
Yeah,
just the way he did it with the bills, and he was so smart and calculated, and his spider sense, how he used it for the safe. I love that part.
that was pretty sick. The whole Spider Sense aspect, like I really liked it because it was different than the other one. Like,
So I didn't
Uh-huh.
understand that at first. I
mm,
didn't understand really what was going on. And I still didn't really pick it up until I think there was a scene where somebody knocks on the door and he finally like he does it. And that's where I realized where like it was spider sense. But before
mm,
I was like, oh, is he just like getting his powers back so it hurts? Like I didn't put two and two together for a while.
gotcha, gotcha. No, I really like that aspect. To your point, Bate, the safe scene, we never really seen that, but it makes sense. Like he could use that in all these different aspects.
Yeah.
No, that was really good. Quick other shout out, great side character was the little kid. I love the little kid.
Yes.
He was really cool, and I hope if they do a season two, they mature his character a little bit.
Absolutely. That'd be cool to see him come back a little bit older because he's already such a smart kid for his age. And when he had
Yeah,
him dressed up as the disguise, just sitting there in the window, I thought
yeah,
that was hilarious.
that was good. I'm
He
trying
was
to
so
think.
excited for the $100 he got too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Pate, you kind of brought this up, but I guess I'll bring it up. What did you guys think? I'll start with you, Pate.
Hmm.
Them dropping the whole season at once versus week to week.
I'm probably a bigger fan of it than you guys are, I would assume, because I feel like in the past couple months, that's how I've watched all these shows. Like I caught up on The Boys and just straight binge watched it, and same thing with Invincible. So I like that because I like being able to just sit down and go right to the next, right to the next, right to the next, and not get stuck on a cliffhanger. But I think it does kind of take away from the episodes because they all start to blend together and it's more exciting, I guess, waiting week to week and like what do you think's gonna happen next episode. So it's like I'm 50-50 on it.
Mm.
Yeah,
Sam, what do you?
I I I appreciate when they always do drop it all at once because I like to go at my own pace. The thing I was kind of shocked about was each of the episodes were like 45 minutes to 50 minutes long. I didn't expect the episodes to be so long. I was happy that they did it because it didn't feel like there was a ton of filler in it either. Like I felt like most of the scenes throughout the season did advance the story.
Yeah, I did think 8 episodes of like 45 minutes was kind of a perfect length.
Mhm.
So I used to be very big on loving binging. I would love the old Netflix model of everything drops at once. You
Hmm.
watch it at your own pace. But as I've gotten older and now kind of in the content game, but just for years of watching the content game, I think it hurts a show because of a couple aspects. One, it drops all at once. So everybody is at a different point realistically when you're watching it. So when you try to talk with someone, you're like, oh, have you watched this? No, I haven't, or I'm waiting to binge it, or I'm on episode 4, don't say anything, blah, blah, blah. That. And then two, it kills the momentum of the show with the public. I think if this was a week-to-week drop, after episode 1, people would have started talking about it a little more. After episode 2, I think it would have got like buzz around. And then the sign of a great show is you get viewers throughout the episodes. So everybody's trying to, because I could have seen myself telling people, hey, you got to watch Spider-Man Noir, and they'd be catching up by the finale. You'll see stuff on Twitter or Instagram, people talking about it, where when you drop a show all at once, it comes, everybody talks about it, and like at least for me, I didn't finish it till yesterday, so like I was avoiding all the discussion online. And then after this week, I feel like no one's going to talk about it again. It's kind of gone, so that's why
It
I
is
see it kind of as a negative.
it is gone, but when does the new Spider-Man drop? Is that the end of July or is it the beginning of July?
Somewhere I think like mid-July.
Yeah.
Because if what they should have done is just timed it up so
Mhm.
that the last episode was right before the other Spider-Man comes out. So it's just like a natural progression to go watch that.
Mhm.
Exactly. And you brought up a great point. I didn't even think about that. You're so right with just killing the momentum of the show and everybody being at a different point. So it's really hard to talk about it and build that momentum over a long period, at least like a month or maybe a month and a half of the
Mhm.
show. Because now, especially with how fast everything's moving and people's attention spans, this show's
Yeah.
gonna be gone by next week for sure, and nobody's gonna talk about it, which is
A hundred-
crazy because it's a good show.
100%. It's on to the next. And like with the boys, it was 8 episodes. You got 8 weeks of just discussion and talk and every great show. So the thing that I'm hoping, so when it got announced, I saw my film people say, "Oh no, that's a bad sign." Like they just want to get it out there and get it over with because they're not confident in the show. But so Amazon did this before with Fallout. The first season of Fallout, they dropped all at once. And
Mhm.
everybody was like, "Oh, that's a big red flag." And then the show was incredible. Everybody loved it. So when they came back for season 2, they released it weekly. So I think if Spider-Man does get a season 2, I think it'll be released weekly to build that buzz and have people talking about it.
Even if they do weekly releases, I'm fine with it because I really liked how Maul did it, where you got 2 episodes each week, where
Mhm.
you get more than one, but like two's probably a healthy number of episodes to watch in a row. It's probably not healthy to watch 6 episodes of
Yeah.
Spider Noir right in a row, like me and
Mhm.
Pate did, but
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah. The other thing with that aspect is honestly, I think it's a dumb decision by streamers because you can get if someone's signing up to watch Spider-Man Noir, you could pay for a month and watch it all right there. But if you released it week to week and you want to be on top of it, it's a big show, you have to subscribe for 8 weeks. So 2 months, you get 2 months of subscription fees just to watch the show. That's why I know Netflix has talked about potentially getting rid of their binge model, and a lot of other streamers don't really do that anymore. So maybe they didn't have a ton of confidence in the show, but now with all the buzz, I think on IMDb,
Mhm.
I wanted to see it has an 8.1, which is
Mhm.
really good. So I think this show will have legs, and it's interesting. The only if they released it also if they released it week to week, I could see people be more likely to watch the episode twice, once in color, once in black and
Yeah,
white.
that's a great point too. I would have probably done that, having a
Hmm.
week to wait till the next episode.
In the multiverse scheme of things, where does Spider Noir rank amongst all the Spider-Man?
You're talking strength wise, or just like what do you mean by that?
Strength is like he I don't think he's the leader of the group, but is he like up there is like I guess strength and like leadership ability.
No, so at least in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and stuff, he is that like not confident dude, but like with the quick one-liner. So like he's kind of on the lower, I would say,
Okay.
of Spider-Man powers.
Because I just didn't
So
know where he stood compared to all of them. Because to me, it seems like he's the adult in the room and he would be
Mhm.
the one who has
mhm.
the experience to kind of like, hey, you got to do this. Like, don't get in the rut. Otherwise, you can go down a dark path. But hearing that is kind of interesting to me.
Because I haven't watched them in a while, but I feel like I remember in the animated ones, like him telling like Miles Morales and Peter Parker, like in my universe, you don't want to go to mine. It's depressing. Like it's all that, and he's dealing with some things. And I know there's people. It's not like confirmed or not whether he was the one that was in those Spider-Man animated movies or not, or if it's a completely different character. I could see them. They kind of left it open, so I could see them tie it in maybe in the future.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see them tie it together because I did see something that they didn't say what planet or Earth it was, so it could be a
Mm,
completely different one.
yeah. Is there? I'm trying to think. Is there anything else that comes to mind with the show that you guys want to talk about?
Hmm. I think we touched it. Everything that I wanted to say, I think we touched on.
Yeah, just the new spin on it. I mean, we went over that and him being the investigator. Like it's just a different point of Spider-Man's life that they really got into, which I like that we got to see.
Hmm. No, I think again, my big takeaways was it was very a smart and adult show, and I think Nick Cage absolutely murdered it.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
he
couldn't see
crushed
that
it.
character be played by someone else and me enjoy it as much. Every time he was on screen, I just felt myself locked in.
Mhm.
Yeah, just everything he did, his mannerisms, the little funky accent he'd put on when he's talking to different people. I think he crushed it. Like you said, I don't think there's anybody else that could have played that character.
Mm. So, thank you guys for tuning in. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below on Spider-Man Noir. Stay tuned. Me and Peyton are going to talk about some Obsession and some Backrooms. But Sam, thank you for joining us. As always, we're going to have you
Yes,
back
sir.
soon.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me again.
Okay, so we're back, and we are talking about Obsession and Backrooms. Peyton did a nice little horror double feature, and I have no idea what he thinks. And a little backstory too. Peyton was the guy that kind of got me into horror movies back in the day. We used to watch some scary movies
Yeah.
back at his house, and I'd be freaked the hell out. But he introduced me to it. I remember Insidious, Conjuring. There's certain ones. So I
Uh-huh.
know you're a horror guy through and through. But let's start off with Obsession. Okay. I want to know
Yes.
your rating, and we're gonna go full spoiler details. Movie's been out, so
Uh-huh.
what is your rating? And just some quick thoughts on
For Obsession, I am sitting at an 8.5. I liked it a lot. I think it was like they used a lot of horror elements that have been done before, but with some unique twists on them. And I like how they did the classic "Be careful what you wish for." They
it.
did
Hmm.
that in a really cool aspect, and I liked it. I think the actors, especially the girl,
She
crushed
killed it.
it with
Killed
acting
it.
nuts because there was like so many parts where it's just like you're kind of sitting there uneasy just like watching her, especially when she's sitting there like just grinning the whole time,
Yeah.
smiling, and it was like a
No.
10-second shot of just her face grinning at the door. I actually
No, that,
I enjoyed this movie quite a bit.
I gave it an 8 out of 10 as well, which is quite high for a horror movie.
Hmm.
And the two big takeaways, kind of talked about it earlier. I felt it was a smart movie. Even like with a kind of out of the box premise, I felt the movie was smart. And the acting was unbelievable. The girl who played Nikki just
Yeah,
absolutely killed it because you believed it. You could see like even that first scene when he made the wish, you see her transitioning like to real Nikki and the obsessed one, and like
yeah,
just the way her face switches. It was. I really like this movie a lot.
and they had a lot of good jump scares. Like I know a lot of movies try to do the
Hmm.
jump scare things, but they actually had some pretty good ones that got me. And just like the audio, I don't know if you experienced this. This was something weird for me that like her screaming and crying felt like super loud and over the top, which made it scarier. I
I
don't know if
agree.
you felt that.
I did, and I think another thing, like little touch that they made that made this so. Did you feel, I guess, on a scale of 1 to 10, how scary would you rate this movie?
Um, say probably like a 7. And it's scary because I live with it. No, I'm kidding. I'm just-
did you watch this movie with your girl? Or did you watch it
yeah,
alone?
I would be like, "Oh my god, babe, that sounds exactly like you," and we'd just be joking around because there was a couple lines that she said, and I was like, "You've said that exact same thing to me before."
I saw some memes where it's like people acting like this girl's crazy. You ever date an Arab or a Latina?
yeah,
Just like stuff like
yeah,
that.
for sure. Can attest with the Latina. It's very much like.
Because I would give it honestly like a 6 out of 10 on the
Mhm.
scary aspect, but the way they did the certain scary scenes, like for me, I think the scene that I felt non jump scare the most uneasy was the scene where she was watching him sleep. And
Yes.
just the way they lit her just standing there, and you can't fully see her face, but you could tell something fucked up is going on
Yeah.
with her. So like those little touches I thought were phenomenal.
And just the way she was walking and moving.
The backwards walk, yeah.
Yeah, I loved how they did that, and just like where she walked up with the roses in her face and just stood there for like a good 5-10 seconds. It felt like fucking 30 seconds, but
Yeah.
she's standing there and it's just like you're just feeling uneasy because you don't know what's about to happen.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the other jump scares. Obviously, the one that really got me was the car scene.
Yeah, the car scene.
Especially because I knew she was coming. Like they were setting it up
Yeah,
where
for sure.
they're about to kiss, but I didn't expect that at that moment her to full sprint head through the door.
Yeah.
Like that got me.
No, that got me too. I was not expecting that, and just for her to just slam her head like crazy against the
Yeah.
brick or whatever, the steering wheel, and then she comes over and just like acts like nothing ever happened. Like I love that she can turn that on and off. Like she just acts like an absolute nut job, and then she's like, "Oh, it's okay, baby. I love you so much." Like,
I really also loved the aspect of she was the villain, but then as the movie went on, you realized he was the like the one
yes,
scene I remember feeling so uneasy is when she was taking over the body in the bed sleeping,
I
and
was
she
about to
was like,
say that too.
just kill me. And that's the first time I was like, dude, this guy's a fucking scumbag.
Yes. There was a lot of times throughout the movie I kind of felt that way because he was set up
Mhm.
to be like the obviously the main character and the protagonist, and you could see him later and later on becoming more of like the villain like you just said. And I
Mhm.
had so many times where I'm like, why is he doing that and why is he defending her? I didn't like that he would defend her a lot of the times. It kind of drove me crazy when his
Yeah.
friends are trying to talk. Cause I was just thinking, if I was sitting with my boys and this was going on, be like, "Yo, Aunt, you gotta come save me!" Like,
Yeah, 100%.
I'm not like, "Oh yeah, she's fine. She's just acting a little weird. Her dad has cancer." I'm like, "Yo,
Yeah.
Aunt, you gotta come save me, bro."
Yeah, this bitch is crazy.
Yeah.
I need some help. Because one thing I really like related to the movie at first was I was that guy in like high school where I had very attractive friends that I was in the friend zone with, right? And
Mhm.
like if I could have done that, I would have done the same shit. I would have broken that thing. I would have done probably some different wishes, but the scene where he choked it, where like you could tell she did like him though, and she's like, "Do
Mhm.
you like me?" And he fucking blew it. I like this movie was very. I felt the dialogue and everything was just very modern and relatable, and I really love that aspect.
Yeah, absolutely. And did we know how old they were? Like, I think somewhere in their late teens, early 20s. Did they specify?
So at least that sounds about right. I don't think they did because at least the one girl was applying to colleges, so I'm assuming they were post high school and they talked about high school a little bit. So
As they said going out to bars, which made me think maybe they were 21 plus.
I, I think 21, 22 sounds about right.
Because just the way they were talking, you're right, it was very modern and
Mhm.
like you could see like you having these same conversations with your boys at that age or even now.
100%. One of the funniest. Well, quick question with that: was your theater packed or no?
It was pretty busy for how late I saw the movie because I saw it today, and also on a Tuesday at like 5 o'clock. I think I watched it. It was pretty full. It wasn't like the huge theaters, but it was like one of those smaller theaters. But it was pretty packed.
Because I saw it on the second week on like a Thursday at 4 o'clock. My theater was sold out,
Shit.
and at least in my theater, there was a lot of laughing.
Yes, dude. I
Did
was
you
about
find
to
that?
say that. Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
laughing.
Because like my theater was cracking up and like the movie was funny in certain aspects, but like they were laughing at like her craziness. And like it was
Yes,
like kind of meant to be funny, but it wasn't. And I thought found that really enjoyable when I started like cracking up a little bit.
100%. Like just the theater experience of everybody feeling that. And I felt like there was also a lot of couples and stuff. So I think that was cool because they really played into it a lot
Yeah.
because some of it's kind of relatable. Not
Yeah.
obviously all of it, but you can relate to some of the pieces to it.
100%. And like the whole premise, but the thing that I found hilarious was when his buddy he told him to do it because like you wouldn't believe your friend if that was the case. They
Yeah.
all want $1 billion, and he did it, and it worked. I thought that scene was great.
Yeah, me too. Because one thing I was thinking throughout the whole movie, I was like, why wouldn't he go buy another one and just
Yep.
unwish it? I was waiting for it to happen the whole time. And then when it happened and he tried to break it again, I thought it was a cool little touch that he couldn't snap it because he got his one wish and that was it. And that friend dynamic, because that is so true, that's probably exactly how it would go. I want $1 billion, and it just starts raining from the sky. You're like, oh shit.
That was I saw something though. The most unrealistic part of the movie is that the friend was hooking up with that girl for months before, and I was like, "That's pretty good."
That was good. That got me.
And then just the whole movie, like I think I'm trying to remember. I saw it a couple of weeks ago. Why I only gave it an 8. I think there was like just certain aspects that I didn't love, but honestly, it was definitely one of my favorite horror movies I've seen in the last couple of years.
Really? No,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what would be better than it. Maybe The Conjuring. I don't know if you saw the most recent one.
I haven't.
That one was pretty good, but it's definitely up there.
Yeah.
It makes me think of like the Hand one. It came out maybe a couple years ago.
Talk to me.
I like that movie a lot.
That one was good. This movie is murdering it at the box office. It was made for less than $1 million. The director was 20 years old, and his first movie, and this movie's made over 100 million worldwide.
Wow.
And it made more money in its second weekend, and then the third weekend it stayed very similar. So like this has the word of mouth of everybody who sees it has been buzzing about it, and that's when you know you have a great movie in your hands.
100%. You're right, because everybody that I've talked to has mentioned it, or even when I went to the barber shop today, I heard my barber that's like not big into movies at all say he got his tickets already to go see it tonight with his wife.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, this movie seems to have a lot of buzz around it. And he was a YouTuber, to my understanding.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen some of it. He made like funny comedy shorts. I've seen a couple of them, and like
Really?
it's just like
That's
video
crazy.
we would make just like in our room. And good for him. He's already got a second movie on the way, and I think it's rumored to take place in the same universe as Obsession. There's going to be like hints to like what happened in the movie in his next movie.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Tying
What do you
it
think of
all
the
together.
ending?
I actually kind of liked it. I wish it went on a little bit further, like, and to see her kind of realize all the crazy shit that happened. But I did like it. I think it was a cool way to end it, especially I liked the little like takeaways as he was about to kill himself, and then she said something, and then he stopped, and then he was taking all the pills, and then he started to try to throw up.
And then you just hear that crack.
Yeah, exactly. Did you know exactly what happened at that point before they panned to the thing?
No, not 100%. I kind of assumed that like she cracked it so she was normal.
That's a good point, because maybe
But
if
it
she
probably
got
wasn't
control.
her controlling it at that time.
Mm-hmm. And I thought that was a really cool touch where they added that, like, you can tell that the real Nikki's still in there, and she's just like hates every second of it.
Yeah,
And
I'm glad. I'm glad he died in the end too.
Yeah, me too, because he was a scumbag for everything
He was
that he did. So selfish and crazy that he wouldn't go talk to anybody, or he even kind of defended it for his own personal, like, I don't even know what you want to call it.
Yeah, that whole movie. The more I think about it, like as we're talking about it, I really, really like just how the dissension was like gratifying. It was smart. It was fun. It was unique. Solid for me. 8 out of 10 horror movie, which is high for a horror movie. I don't know how many horror movies I have above like a 7.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a really good movie and great length. Very paced very well.
100%. It flew by. The music was good in it too, and like the balance horror comedy. And I guess my biggest takeaway is that actress should be a star because she absolutely killed it. The amount of memes and stuff are coming out about her are so funny. But she former like Twitch streamer too. She like streamed video games. Yeah. But absolutely love that movie.
Yeah, no, she crushed it. It sold me that she was nuts.
Yeah. So, any final thoughts on Obsession?
No, just a great horror movie. You could go watch it, have
Yeah.
a great time watching it, be scared. It's a good movie.
Good date movie. Good movie
Yeah,
with your girl. Even a first date, I feel like it'd be pretty fun.
for sure.
Yeah, it was a solid experience. So now moving on to Backrooms. Backrooms comes out last week. Same kind of story. First time director. I think he's like 20 years old, 21 years old. He directed a YouTube like short film on the Backrooms, and that kind of got his recognition. They made it into a movie. What do you think of Backrooms out of 10?
I'm at a 4.5 on
Wow.
Backrooms. I hated it, to be honest. I'm like, I didn't know one thing going into it, and I left
Yeah.
the theater. I am normally like not a harsh critic on movies at all. I
Yeah.
left hating it for some reason.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So for me, I ended up at like a 7 out of 10. But
Really?
that's when I walked out of the theater. Like I was like,
Uh-huh.
wow, that was a 7 out of 10. And as it sat, it dropped to like a 6.5, maybe a 6. But it was for me, it was a tale of two movies. The first half of the movie I loved.
Uh-huh.
The second half of the movie I thought was weird as fuck.
Yeah.
That's where I was at. So why did you hate it? Let me hear.
So I don't know if it's because I got into the movie like a couple minutes late. Like I missed probably like the first minute or two. I don't know if
So
there was some big stuff that
I
happened.
missed the opening scene too. So fucking Regal. All right, let me go on a quick rant here.
Yeah.
So Regal has this shit, right, where they say the movie's at 7.
Mm-hmm.
And they have now built in with movie audiences that, at least for me in my standard theater, it's about 25 minutes till your movie
Exactly.
starts.
Yep.
Yep. So it's 25 minutes, movie starts. So if I have a movie starting at 7, I'm not expecting it to start till 7:25, 7:30. This movie, so I saw 2 movies in the same day. I saw Mandalorian, or this was Mandalorian Obsession. That happened. Next week, I go to see Backrooms. The start time is 6:50. I walk into my theater, I think at 7:02, and I missed the whole scene.
No
So
way.
I was like, "What do you mean? What I missed?" So I did. Where did you jump into?
Oh shit. So it was, I want to say it was like the therapist lady seeing the handprint and like the house get demolished. Is that in the beginning? I want to say that's what I remember when I first walked in.
So when I first walked in, it was the main character, actor Chiwetel Ejiofor, talking to the therapist.
Okay, so you were probably actually a little bit behind me then, because I think this happened before that. The first therapist encounter where they're role playing and everything.
Yeah, that's the first scene I walked in on.
Okay, so I was a little bit before you, and same 25-minute rule. It started at the 25-minute mark, because I only must have missed a minute or two.
Gotcha. I don't know why they did it in like now. I don't know. And I usually still get there like on time
Uh-huh.
before the 25 minutes, but this happened to me twice now. Once I was there already and it started within 10 minutes and I was like, this is great. But
Yeah.
they built now in my head that I have time. But either way, I guess there was a scene before that. That was a found footage scene in the back rooms
Oh,
of
really?
someone like dying. And that was like the opening scene. I was literally in the theater, like typing, like, what's the opening scene of Backrooms, like, to find out what I missed, and that's what it said.
That's what I meant to do. I meant to try to Google it and try to watch a video on it too, because I didn't know if that was hindering my experience, because I don't know if they set all this up in the beginning and I completely missed it, but I just felt so kind of lost during the whole movie. I didn't like, I don't know how to describe it. My brain, when I walked out, like I literally had a headache of what the hell did I just watch?
When the movie ended, I couldn't believe it ended. And like, I
Me
watched
too.
it. I watched it with my sister and then Drew and Cam, and I walked out and I was just like, "What do you guys think of that?" And everybody just said like, "I don't know how to feel," because
Yeah.
they didn't answer anything.
No, I watched it with my girl too, and we walked out and we were both like, wow, that kind of felt like a waste of time. I don't even know. Like, I don't know. There was like it was more suspense horror than than actual horror, which I'm not a huge fan of, where it's just like the music getting louder, they're walking around corners and like you're expecting something to happen, but nothing happens, and that's like kind of how they're hooking you to be nervous or on the
Mm.
edge of your seat. And I don't like when I don't mind that if it's a little bit, but they were dragging on for like, I think, what's the movie? It's under 2 hours long, I think, or just
I
shy
think
of
it's
two
like an
hours.
hour 50.
And then I don't think you get like a real horror thing until like at least an hour into it, which for a horror movie kind of just set me off a little bit.
So for me, this is where first half of the movie I found very intriguing. Like getting the backstory, you see this guy, he's all depressed and everything, finds the back room. And I did felt like it dragged a little bit, or it did take a little bit. But then he gets in there, and I'm locked in at this point. I
Yep.
love how he's exploring. I love all this. And the build up, that you hear the footsteps. You don't know what the hell's going on. What are these Jesus statues? What are the like? So I'm super locked in. I like that build up of that tension. Then you get the best scene in the movie, in my opinion, the found footage scene. That's when the
Yes.
movie peaked. That's when I was legit scared. When
Yep.
they go in there with his employees and they're having that whole found footage scene. I thought that was phenomenal. Then you get the therapist coming, okay, and everything was great until that dining room table scene.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it lost me. So like I love all the build up and tension, but you have to have a good payoff for that. And I didn't think there was a good payoff.
Yes, exactly. Like I don't mind if there's tension at least a little bit, or even if it's a good portion of the movie, but it has to have a satisfying payoff, and it did not. Like that dinner table, I was kind of lost on what the hell happened to Clark. Of
Yeah.
how long has it been?
I don't know. I really
Yeah,
don't.
that's what was confusing me. I was like, I don't understand what is happening. I don't understand what these people are. They're not moving. It was
Yeah.
just like so weird. It was just like a very weird movie. I felt
It
like I
was.
had to eat mushrooms and smoke and go sit in there and watch it to like understand it.
Yeah, no, because that found footage scene I thought was great where I'm like legit scared and I'm like, what
Yes.
is happening? What is down here? And like even when he's running around, he's in the Christmas room and
Yeah, the
there's like
Christmas room.
that I'm like, holy shit. And then when we get the payoff of like some of those creatures, like the big bad creature, the pirate, I don't know, I just felt it was a little goofy.
Yeah, I know for sure. It was so corny. And seeing him like wobble and hobble after her was
Yeah.
so weird.
Like I would have been more happy if Clark was the villain in the end and like he
Yeah,
just went manic because he opened the door, you saw his coworker's head, so I'm assuming that was him who killed her.
exactly.
But I don't know, I didn't love that pirate scene. But then I thought they were going to redeem it, so you get the ending scene and I'm like, okay, like let me get some explanation, like this is going to be cool. And
Yes.
then they don't really explain it at all.
No, I don't even know why they had it if they were gonna end it like that. Was my
Because I
thought.
was getting like Stranger Things vibes where like there was like a corporation behind it and they were like
Mm-hmm.
testing out things, but then it just seemed like they didn't know what it was either, so it's just there.
Yeah, that's what I was curious about what I missed, because I felt like the corporation had to have a bigger plot that I must have missed. Because
Yeah.
I wasn't understanding, because you see the cameras, you see Phil look at the cameras and see the therapist and Clark go into that room with the camera in it, and nothing really happens.
No. The I thought the one positives, I thought the film was shot beautifully. I thought it looked very visually appealing. I thought the music was great, and I
Yes,
thought
the
the
music was
acting
good.
was great. I think Trutel killed it as Clark, and like all the even like the side characters. I thought that was all good. It's just that the payoff was kind of whack, and even like Clark's death, I was like, ah,
So, did you understand the backstory of the Backrooms before going into this movie, of like the
no,
YouTube short stuff?
I know nothing about it, and I've heard from people who know all that story. Like that's kind of the lore of it, where it's like you don't really know. But did you know anything about it going in?
No, I had not one clue. I had to watch videos because I literally felt so lost after the movie. I was like, I don't know if I missed some huge part, but it wasn't making sense to me at all.
Because even I missed the little opening. I missed more than you, and I genuinely for a little bit felt so confused. I'm like, am I missing something? What is going on?
Yeah.
But it just, I guess, wasn't that aspect. I wanted more exploring of the back rooms and that more tension. I wanted more people go in there because I don't think the pirate was the one that killed his coworker, or at least dragged the coworker into that door.
Oh, you don't think so?
I don't think so, because I don't think the pirate was
Would
too
have been,
big to.
yeah, yeah, that's a great point. Fuck, I don't.
I also didn't pick up on this. My sister told me this when he went down there, and he picks up a shirt.
Uh-huh.
It was a shirt he was wearing. Did you know that?
Okay, because that's funny, because when he did pick up the shirt, I was like, why does this shirt look so familiar? We must have just saw it, and I couldn't think of what it was, but I didn't realize that was the shirt he was wearing.
Yeah. So that I didn't pick up on. It was cool. Did you see like the girl's face?
Yes, in the pile of clothes or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. That was creepy.
Yeah, I thought that was gonna be something too, because I did notice that. Because I touched my girlfriend. I'm like, do you see the face there? Or am I tripping?
Yeah, no, I thought that too. I wanted more monsters, just more shit in the back room. That's my biggest gripe. Is that payoff with pirate was not cool.
And were you understanding the stuff like halfway through the floor and like stuck in the floor and stuff?
So I guess this is something I wanted to ask you because what was your interpretation of what is the back rooms to you?
I really don't even. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
after watching some videos, it's like this deep, dark, whatever you're struggling with, and then I really actually don't even have a solid answer. I'm still unsure.
So neither do I. I like interpret it as like is that ending scene that showed like it's just the deeper you go, and Clark kind of talked about it. It's just a reflection of reality, and the deeper you go, the less it remembers. So like that's where I took like the chairs were a memory of something, and it got moved around. But
Uh-huh.
there's no like good answer. I don't know what that means.
No, it was like so trippy, especially with all like these little doors and how everything was laid out. The Christmas room to pools
Yeah,
and the found footage scene was definitely the best part of the movie where they're running
100%.
around with it. So it looks like it made me think of Outlast
Yes, yes,
where they're running around, and I love the part where whatever it was picked up the camera and Clark was like touching on the wall because he hears his coworker,
yeah.
and and then it just like doesn't show anything. That kind of drove me crazy.
Because that's when the movie died, in my opinion. It was for me. It was slow build, and it peaks at that found footage, and then it was just downhill
Yeah,
after that.
does a cliff dive.
Yeah, what was I gonna bring up? What I was confused, maybe because I missed the opening scene, what the Rock was with the therapist, and what was her whole backstory of like don't like. I remember she was looking out the window as a little kid, and the door barged in.
Yeah, so this is where I walked in on, I'm pretty sure. And I was kind of confused by it too, but I was starting to put it together a little bit when it showed her as a little girl. I think that was like the house that she was grew up in, and it got demolished or like condemned or something, so they started demolishing the house. But I think when they were little, they put her hand in like the concrete of the driveway and she saved like a piece of it to remember her childhood or something. That was like my understanding of it.
Gotcha. So it's better than I was confused on that aspect. It's just a weird movie. I think like if there was a Backrooms 2, I would go see it, but it could go bad. It could go really good if they like did more of that first half aspect of it. But I don't know. It was just I wanted you to see it because I wanted to talk about it because I just
Yeah,
felt it was one of the ones where I walked out of just with a weird feeling.
me too, dude. That was like the first time I ever walked out a movie and was like, I couldn't wrap my head around what I just watched.
So I've had that. Have you ever watched Hereditary?
No.
Okay. So that's regarded as like one of the best modern horror movies.
Uh huh.
And me and my sister. There's two movies, so they're by the same director, Hereditary and Midsummer. Um, and I walked out. I watched it at home, but after watching Hereditary, I remember this different feeling, but eerie. Like, what the hell did I just watch? And like this feeling inside. This one was more of a confusion, but I kind of want you to watch Hereditary one day because it's known as like the best horror movie of the 2020s,
Wow.
and it's a weird one. But those type of vibes where you just walk out and you just don't know, and it depends how it sits. So for me at least, Backrooms hasn't sat the best that whole second half.
Yeah, I hated the second half. The first
Yeah.
half was okay. I wasn't in love with it, but the found footage scene was like the only part that got me like excited, and I was like, oh shit, it could turn around right here and be really good from here on out. But then it just
To,
plummeted.
to your point, I wanted to see more too. I wanted to see the deaths. I wanted to see like some gruesome stuff.
Yeah, because at that point, I think we're like, it's got to be close to the hour mark at that point, if not
Yeah.
past an hour. And that's like the first like horror stuff that we got.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. The intriguing movie. So something I just wanted to talk about was the horror renaissance, where this movie did unbelievable at the box office. I think it
Really?
made like 70 million, uh,
Shit.
and like Mandalorian made like 85. So it's
Wow.
we're in a horror phase, and something I want to bring up. So people are talking a lot about Obsession and Backrooms coming out within a couple weeks. Two horror movies by super young directors that are doing really well at the box office.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the reason they're doing so well is just unique premises. Both these movies, even though Backrooms, you didn't love it, you have to admit it's a unique premise.
For sure.
And I think that's where the theaters aren't dead. A lot of people talk about that. We just need unique, intriguing premises into the theater. And that's what will get people to go. And then Obsession, if it's a great movie, word of mouth will carry that movie and it'll be buzzing. You can't come out with I liked Mandalorian, but it's just cookie cutter Hollywood
Yeah,
bullshit.
it is.
And like that doesn't stick. We've seen enough things. Give us some unique stuff. It doesn't even have to be Obsession was made for $1,000,000, but if you do it right, you're gonna do well at the box office, and that's what people want to see. Because I don't think it's even like the horror aspect. I think those could have been action movies with intriguing premises, and people would have gone and seen them.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right, because that was one thing that I thought was cool. Was it's something that I felt like I'd never seen before, and that's what
Mhm.
kind of intrigued me at first, and then I just didn't personally love it.
Yeah, no, then that's film. My John Campia, shout out, favorite YouTube guy about movies. His go-to line is, "Film is subjective. 100 people can watch the same movie, and you can get 100 different uh, thoughts about it." So this 4.5. That I I had it as a 7, but the more I'm talking about it, I feel like the lower I'm gonna go.
I was thinking about it as soon as I walked out. I was like, wow, this is going to be my lowest rating ever by far.
Yeah.
I just didn't enjoy it. Normally, I walk out of at least even movies that are typically considered bad movies, and I found some enjoyment out of it. That
Yeah.
movie, I didn't really find too much enjoyment out of it.
No, then I don't blame you. But thank you guys for joining us. Let us know what your thoughts are on Obsession, on Backrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, just I'm curious what you guys thought. Stay tuned. So next week we are going to be covering Scary Movie 6. I think we might have some different special guests on, depending on how the movie is. But the other thing, we're probably going to start doing some intriguing topics. So
Mm-hmm.
some top 5 lists or some future drafts. So stay tuned. There's definitely some movies coming out. I think I'm dying to see Disclosure Day, the new Alien Steven Spielberg movie that comes out, I think, in 2 weeks. So I'm looking forward to that. But
Yeah, I'll
stay tuned.
definitely watch that.
We'll have some good content on the way.
Yes, sir.